When you have a dream, and the dream isn't something you dream and then it happens, the dream is something you never knew was going to come into your life. Dreams always come from behind you, not right between your eyes. It sneaks up on you. But when you have a dream, it doesn't often come at you screaming in your face, this is who you are, this is what you must be for the rest of your life. Sometimes a dream almost whispers. And I've always said to my kids, the hardest thing to listen to, your instincts, your human personal intuition, always whispers, it never shouts. Very hard to hear. So you have to, every day of your lives, be ready to hear what whispers in your ear. It very rarely shouts.
What I am obsessed by is the fact that this top-down, monopolistic, beat on your chest, efficiency-driven economy is the way in which the future is, but it's really not. That's what corporations want you to think. That's what venture capitalists want you to think. I'm obsessed with the fact that everything that is mostly promoted here in Silicon Valley is actually the complete opposite.
I have always had the deep understanding for myself that if anything was going to move forward in my life, that I was going to have to be responsible for making that happen. And I know that to be true now and can articulate it as you are responsible for your life. And if you're sitting around waiting on somebody to save you, to fix you, to even help you, you are wasting your time, because only you have the power to take responsibility to move your life forward. And the sooner you get that, the sooner your life gets into gear.
How can you build a business that manifests all of those things? How can you make sure that there's an opportunity that you can still provide for your family, or not just fall off the beaten path? These are the 5 principles that I believe make the difference when you start a company. Because most of the time, in just about every case I've seen around the world, the biggest problem in a company is not anything to do with tactics. It has nothing to do with skills. It has to do with the thing between your 2 ears, your brain. So if you want to get it done, you need to foster an open environment where communication is key, where people do what's in the best interest of the company. Because the last thing you want is people who have an agenda. That's how big companies go bankrupt. So have a zero tolerance policy for folks who don't believe what you believe, and that's why you post your manifesto right as people walk in the door of your company. Because they either believe or they don't. They're either inspired by you and your vision, or they're not. Print what you wrote and post it. Post it in 3 places: where you go to bed, where you brush your teeth, and the door you go in and out of the most in your house. And the reason why is because your house is your sanctuary. It's the place that you trust. And it takes more than 20 interactions to create a habit, any type of habit. So if you look at those posts 20 days in a row, you will start to believe. What you believe becomes your reality. The challenge is that we also surround ourselves most of the time with the wrong people and not the right people. And what I find intriguing about surrounding yourselves with the right people is people who have tattoos. There are people in this world who viscerally believe so much in something that they literally go through pain for hours because they have a story to tell.
What matters is now, this moment, and your willingness to see this moment for what it is, accept it, forgive the past, take responsibility, and move forward.
The people above you are on a witch hunt to find you, because you're the tattletale. You're not a tattletale at all. You see what should change and why. And that's why I hope that you will create your own reality.
It does not matter where you come from. I have seen people come out of the desert, walk across the desert, being born in the most dire of circumstances.
Nature reminds us of how beautiful things can be accomplished with the power of patience. Branch by branch, leaf by leaf, a small tree grows into a work of art. It is okay to slow down, to relax. Great things don't happen quickly. You must realize that being constantly busy does not mean being successful. Take the time to observe your surroundings every time life begins to not make sense. Look at how animals and plants naturally seek the right place where they can grow and flourish. A flower will not blossom in the wrong environment. So then, you too must seek the environment in which you can grow. Find the place where you can do the things that the world needs from you. A place that is suitable for your art form, where you can do what seems to be most natural to you. The world is filled with unhappy people living in the wrong environment, looking for the wrong things. After all, what good is spending your life seeking money, fame, and material possessions if you never do what you really want? Eventually, you will have to make a choice. Do you want to fit into society's plan for you and avoid resistance? Or do you want to make your own path? Find the environment that will be best suitable for you. Life is way too short to spend it in the wrong place. It's time to make your own path. Create your own environment. Find the people and surroundings that will help you grow. The best place where you can create your own beautiful things. Make it a mission to express your art and to practice your craft until it becomes something amazing. You must test your imagination and produce magnificent creations for the world to see. Write poetry every day for the things that you do. Let your life become a manifestation of who you are, because those will be the things that matter. Your creations will be the essence you leave behind. So find a place that will allow you to be the best version of yourself and get to work.
The challenge is a lot of times we don't know what's on the other side of the door, or we don't know what's on the other side of when you jump in the hole, right? We get so caught up in, I know what I want to do, I see where I have to go, but I don't know what's on the other side. The reality is, the people that you surround yourself with to get to where you want to go are not the right people most of the time. Whether it's your boss, whether it's your friends, sometimes it's even your partner. You need a supportive environment to follow your dreams, because it takes a lot of energy and the world thinks you already can't do it. And that's why you need to start with why, because people don't buy what you do or how you do it, they buy why you do it. What's your passion, what's your purpose, what's your cause, and what's your belief? When you talk from a why-centered communication, it's very simple. People either believe what you believe or they don't. So it's a really easy mechanism. Even when you're outside today or when you're outside at work, talk about what you believe and why. Don't talk about what you do. I'm a manager. I do marketing. I'm a consultant. You're not a consultant. You believe in something. You believe in helping make a difference. Talk from that perspective, because that is how you build a tribe. And a tribe is what's scalable. And without a tribe, changing the way in which these paradigms are right now is not going to happen, because it can't. You can't do it by yourself. So we've talked about how to get to your passion. We've talked about who you should surround yourself with, and we've talked about how you should communicate. Sit down, think about what you have and what you're going to need. Strap it on your back and jump in. Because there's no better time than now. There's no better time to manifest your dream, follow your passion, than right now. The world's gonna tell you, don't jump in. You can't do that. That's scary. What's the worst thing that's gonna happen to you if you jump in? Create your reality and always remember that luck is an accumulation of superior effort and focused execution.
Sometimes we have to ask ourselves, what's using my life? One of the things that we know about life is that it is always changing. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes things go real well, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes you're happy, and sometimes you're sad. Now that's that thing called life. And when we begin to understand and know that, accepting that reality that we will never ever have things just on an even keel all the time, that you're going to have some ups and you're going to have some downs. But during those down moments, that's where the growth takes place. That's where the work is. Anybody can feel good when they have their health, their bills are paid, they have happy relationships, the children are acting normal. Anybody can be positive then. Anybody can have a larger vision then. Anybody can have faith under those kinds of circumstances. See, but the real challenge of growth, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, comes when you get knocked down. How you handle it, that's where the growth takes place. What did you learn from it? Are you learning anything, or are you doing it over and over and over again? Are you going through it, or are you growing through it? Are you bigger and better because of it? Things are going to happen to you, and the most important thing to do is to harness your will and let it go. I'm in control here. I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to let this destroy me. I'm coming back, and I'll be stronger and better because of it. You have got to make a declaration that this is what you stand for. You're standing up for your dreams. You're standing up for peace of mind. You're standing up for health. You want it, and you're going to go all out to have it. Yes, I'm going to turn this situation around. I'm not going to sit back and moan and cry over what happened and what went wrong and who did what. I'm going to do something about this situation. Expect things to get better for you, because they are. See, life is cyclic. Whatever experience you're having right now, it has not come to stay. It has come to pass.
There is no prize out there. The only prize is this one, and what you feel and what you want to accomplish. I feel that I very often watch a lot of young people sort of meander around without any idea about why they're doing what they're doing. To want and to be ambitious and to want to be successful is not enough. That's just desire. To know what you want, to understand why you're doing it, to dedicate every breath in your body to achieve. If you feel you have something to give, if you feel that your particular talent is worth developing, is worth caring for, then there's nothing you can't achieve.
Your purpose is available to you at any moment in your life, but you gotta know what it is. Each moment, we've got to be able to find some sense of meaning for our lives, something that is significant, something that is useful.
What's your why? Why do you wake up in the morning? Why do you put on that jersey? Why do you go out and practice? Why? What's your why? I do what I do because my daughter says she's going to Harvard.
Maybe it gets you to put some of your focus into the most important area of life, which is enhancing meaning. See, all of us in life have to have a reason to be here. If all you're doing out there is going out and trying to achieve goals, and then you achieve them, then I'm sure you've run into that trip-up wire that says, okay, I've achieved the goal, and now what? Right? You achieve the goal and your brain says, is this all there is? See, the purpose of a goal, as I've shared with you so many times, is not to achieve the goal. The purpose of the goal is what it makes of us as people, who we become. Ultimately, though, we have to have a sense that who we even have become has some kind of meaning. Without that, there's not a reason to live. There's not a reason to get up. There's not a reason to go out there and make it happen. I'm going to go for something. I'm going to stand for something. I'm going to put myself in line in a relationship or in my business or my vision to make a difference in the world. And no one can live a life that's fulfilled without a sense of meaning.
You gotta have a why. You gotta have a reason for why you do what you do.
See, we've been put here for a reason.
I knew I was on a mission, on a very specific quest, you know? It was bigger than just wanting to be a musician or do movies. It was about finally showing the world what Scott could do. I wasn't the best student. At that moment in your time in life, you feel like that's all that matters. High school, it's like, oh, this girl doesn't like me, this guy here, and it's all this drama, and you go into the real world and you know it's about just trying to make your mark in the world. And I never got a chance to do that academically. So I had this fire to pursue this musical career.
If you only have 24 hours in a day, your success is dependent upon how you use the 24. You gotta hear me. People talk about Oprah Winfrey, you know, Ted Turner, Warren Buffett. Listen to me. I don't care how much money you make. You only get 24 hours in a day. And the difference between Oprah and the person that's broke is Oprah uses her 24 hours wisely. That's it. Listen to me. That's it. You get 24. I don't care if you broke, you grew up broke. I don't care if you grew up rich. I don't care if you're in college, you're not in college. You only get 24 hours. And I blew up literally. I went from being a high school dropout to selling 6,000 books in less than 6 months. What happened? My 24 hours. I was like, okay, Eric, you got to get a grip on your 24 hours because you're about to be broke for the rest of your life. And that's all I need you to do for me. I can tell you all about your life if you just write down your 24-hour schedule for me. You let me look at it. I can tell you where you're going to be in 5 years. I can tell you where you're going to be in 10 years. I can tell you where you're going to be in 20 years if you keep that schedule.
Some of you are doing okay, as you say, but want to go to the next level. But none of you are going to reach the next level unless you are committed every day to be better than yesterday. I know none of you are happy with average. Average is not for you, and average will not be you. You might be at a great level, but you must understand there is always another level at the same intensity, week in, week out, and expect improved results. The world doesn't work like that. You give more and you get more. You must understand that despite perceived limitations, if you push yourself, you can always raise the bar in your life. You have to always raise the bar. First you set the standard, then you raise the bar. Don't you dare quit. Don't you dare settle. Don't you dare back down. not today or any other day. When the tough moments come, never forget. You are in that moment writing your legacy. In that tough moment, you are setting the standard for your character. Do you have the character? You do. Never forget, never quit. The key is hard work. The key is found in my grind, in my hustle. The key is found in believing in myself. The key is believing in myself when no one else does. The key is in my obsession with reaching success, my obsession with reaching my targets. The key is outworking my rival. The key is sacrificing my today for a better tomorrow. The key is in getting out of my comfort zone and pushing myself past perceived limitations. The key is in daily growth. The key is sticking it out when times are tough. The key is being tougher than my life is. The key is using my pain as fuel to drive me to success. The key is in my goals. Goals so big, they scare small minds. The key is in my vision. The vision that keeps getting bigger every time that I conquer my last goal. The key is in taking responsibility for my life, no matter what happens, no matter what test life throws my way. The key is in doing whatever it takes. The key is within me. The key is within me.
Have you ever wanted something so bad that you're too afraid to tell anyone about it? A thought you've had several times over and over again. You think about it before you go to sleep, when you're alone, and eventually it never left your mind. This is your myth, your why in life. It is something you want to achieve. The goal is pictured in your mind, and nothing is going to stop you from getting to it. But the fear of telling people about it. Fearful of the negative reactions, the laughter, the name calling, all of it. How will you cope with people not liking your idea? Your family, maybe even a few of your friends think you're crazy for it. Why that? Why choose that as your myth? But why does everybody doubt you so much? Do they not see how bad that you want it? It's called a myth because people around you don't think it's possible. But all of that ends as soon as you decide to pursue it. When you put in the work, late at night, typing away at your computer, memorizing definition upon definition, or it could be right after work taking shots on net, practicing over and over again. A quote from legendary speaker Les Brown: "The graveyard is the richest place on earth because it is here that we will find all the hopes and dreams that were never fulfilled, the books that were never written, the songs that were never sung, the inventions that were never shared, and the cures that were never discovered, all because someone was afraid to take that first step." And with that in mind, no matter what it is, you pursue it and you chase that dream. Do not be afraid to take that first step because hard work does not go unnoticed. Something will come from it all, and while everybody doubted you, you'll be there working towards something you truly want. And this is all a part of your legend. The story of you pursuing what you believe in and what you will become. If you're listening to this right now, I have faith in you. You can do it. Create your own story.
True desire in the heart for anything good is God's proof to you, sent beforehand to indicate that it's yours already. That itch that you have to be whatever it is you want to be, in front of the camera, on the stage, behind the stage, that itch, that desire for good is God's proof to you, sent already to indicate that it's yours. You already have it. Claim it.
Understand this.
As you look at your goals and dreams, every day we must convince ourselves, we must sell ourselves on that it's possible. Every seminar, every workshop, every book that I've ever read, every speaker that I've ever heard, it interrupted what I was believing about myself. Everything that you do, everything matters. As you go through each day, I know now as I look back at age 63, looking at my life, everything matters. T. Harv is right. How you do anything is how you do everything. And I realized that the choices I was making was based upon how I saw myself. It's necessary as you look at your goals and your dreams, it's necessary that you have a strategy and a game plan to change the story that you believe about yourself.
Dreams without goals remain dreams, just dreams, and ultimately fuel disappointment. Dreams without goals, yearly goals, life goals, daily goals, monthly goals, hourly goals, minute by minute goals. Dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. Goals on the road to achievement cannot be achieved without discipline and consistency.
I've discovered, and many people have, that what we do, what we accomplish, what we produce is a result of the story we believe about ourselves. You have to work on yourself on a regular basis, and write this down, for mental mindset. For mental mindset and stamina. Because things are going to happen to you. I believe that the reason that most people go to their graves with their talents and abilities and skills in them is because of the fact, number one, many are like me. They didn't know that they didn't know and thought they knew. I thought I knew myself, and I really didn't know myself as well as I thought. I've discovered that sometimes people can take you to a place within yourself that you can't go by yourself. You have something special. There's something you want to do. Because you don't know how to do it doesn't mean that you can't learn. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. The people that will live their dreams, the 2% that will do that, these are, and write this down, become a risk taker. They're risk takers. They don't mind failing. They don't mind making mistakes. They're willing to take life on, take life in the collar. Viscott said, if you're not willing to risk, you cannot grow. And if you cannot grow, you cannot become your best. And if you cannot become your best, you can't be happy. And if you can't be happy, then what else is there?
Between goals and achievement are discipline and consistency. I pray that you all put your shoes way under the bed at night so that you got to get on your knees in the morning. You'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. I'll say it again. You'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse.
That fear of having a dream and that fear of, oh, I can't dream that, I'll never be able to do that.
Right.
It was important to know that, yes, you can have that dream, but you have to know, honestly, what it's going to take for you to achieve that dream. And then I came up with the quote, and it goes for everybody, all genders, all races. Don't be afraid to close your eyes and dream, but then you have to open your eyes and see the reality of what it's going to take for you to achieve that dream. And a lot of people, they kind of see whether it's musicians or athletes or entertainers or even just successful people, but they don't understand the thing that it takes for them to get to the point that they've gotten.
The ideal situation for a man or woman to die is to have family members praying with them as they cross over. He said, but imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed and standing around your bed, the ghost of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, and that you, for whatever reason, you never went after that dream. You never acted on those ideas. You never used those talents. You never used those gifts. And there they are standing around your bed looking at you with large angry eyes saying, we came to you and only you could have given us life. And now we must die with you forever. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And one of the things that I can just tell you as you think about your goals and dreams, all of us can say in a spirit of integrity that it's possible. That if anybody at any point in time lived their dream, then it's possible that I can live mine. And what I did was, I made a mistake. I looked at my goals and dreams, and my mind said, how will you do that? I went from my heart to my mind, and I stayed up there for 14 years. 14 years. I can't bring those 14 years back. Those years are gone. And I've made a mission in my life to help people to stop putting it off and procrastinating. How many ever thought about something you wanted to do and you procrastinated, you talked yourself out of it? There's a proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm.
When you're asleep, you need your dreams. I'm here to tell you that when you're wide awake, you also need your dreams. You must have your goals. You'll never make it as a wandering generality. You must become a meaningful specific. If you're going to work tomorrow because that's what you did yesterday, you're not going to be as good tomorrow as you were yesterday, because now you're 2 days older and no closer to the goal which you do not have.
When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Wealth is placed on the planet. It's not in the Far East where there's oil in the ground. It's not in South Africa where there are diamond mines. He said the wealth is placed on the planet is the cemetery. Because there you'll find greatness that we've never seen. There you'll find talent and genius and potential never actualized. What if you live your whole life only to discover that it was wrong? That it was wrong. That you were chosen to do something else and you didn't do it. And the question is, if you died today, what dreams, what ideas, what talents, what books, what music, what leadership, what voice will die with you?
Take your place. Make your mark. Live your life. God didn't bring you in this world to be average. God didn't bring you in this world to wake up and die one day and just be another person that lived and died and didn't do anything significant in this world. You're still alive. So therefore, God is not done with you. You're still here. There's a lot of people in your family that died. There's a lot of your boys and your homegirls. Random situations that shocked you, caught you off guard. God has things in mind for you beyond anything you could ever imagine. Most of you, you're so consumed with everything that's going on in the world. This is the reasons you haven't figured out your own life yet. You can never shine trying to sit on someone else's sun. God didn't bring you in this world to be focused on what everybody else is doing. You can never figure out who you are if you're consumed in everything that everybody else is and what they're doing and the moves that they're making. Perception creators in the wrong way. You're so consumed in trying to force everyone to think and believe that you're doing it big, but we all know that you're not. There's a lot of undiscovered magicians out here. You have convinced the world that you're doing it big, and you know you're not doing it big. You know that you are living beyond your means. The problem is you now believe your own lies so convincingly that you're now miserable because you're trying to chase someone else's life. You're trying to chase someone else's lifestyle and identity, all while ignoring your own life and your own path. All while ignoring what God has in mind for you. What is the vision for your life? What are the ideas and the dreams for your life? What are you supposed to be doing? Who are you? What are your gifts and talents? What is your ultimate destiny and your goals? God will never give you something somebody else is supposed to have. God will never give you something somebody else is supposed to have. So all while you're consumed and focused on somebody else's career, how much they got in their account, their moves, their blessings, and their opportunities, your own career, your own focus, your own path is being further dumped in the back seat. You know how many boys and little girls are out here emotionally stressed out, confused, have no leaders, have no one to look up to, no sense of direction. When I was in the hood and I was in Watts, no one famous ever showed up to make a difference in my life. It was always regular people just like you. Just like you, who decided, I see the value in you. I believe in you. It's very easy for us to become duplicates of everything and everybody that's around us. Wake up every day and decide that you love yourself enough to commit yourself to you. The word selfish starts with the word self. I cannot take care of you if I'm not taking care of myself. Some of y'all are so consumed, you're allowing people to make you feel bad about being so blessed. So you find yourself being consumed in everything and everybody and their problems, their issue, and their situations. They're making you feel bad about the little money that you have in your account. You didn't run up that fucking phone bill. You're living beyond your means, trying to live up to this hype that you're doing it when you're really not doing it. You're out here running around making everybody feel bad about the bills that you can't afford because you're living beyond your means. The devil will show up in many forms to distract you from the focus. Everybody loves to flirt. Everybody loves to just get caught up in dogma, randomness, ratchetness. The devil is going to send you many obstacles so that you can lose your focus. You have a vision, you have an idea, you have a genius idea that's in your mind, that's brewing and it's orchestrating. Ideas are like pregnancies. Some of the ideas come out quick, others take a little longer to mold and shape and develop in your mind. Live your life, make your mark. Don't wake up every day being consumed in everybody else's thoughts and their intentions. God put you on this earth to do something significant. And you should understand this, that it was always going to be your family and your friends that would be the first ones to try and talk you out of your vision and your big idea. That's why you're supposed to live your life. Focus on your intentions and do your thing. If I had paid attention to what people thought I was going to do with my life and what my career path would be, I would not be Tyrese Gibson. I'm 16 movies in the game. Multi-millionaire, 35 years old, young, fly, sexy, handsome, confidence, got wisdom, insight, and information on how to go from where I am to all of these new levels that are on the way. Most of my friends, I drive them crazy because I'm so specific and so bold with my visions and my intentions. Even if they tried, they couldn't get me off my path. And that makes people very uncomfortable, because when you see the invisible, you're able to do the impossible. I'll say it again, only those that can see the invisible can do the impossible, which means that if you see what's not there, that means that you have these bold, uncomfortable visions and intentions and ideas, and you're going to have all of these random people popping up in many forms, trying to get you off of your path. And you're so convinced that this is what you're supposed to do and where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing and the people that you're supposed to be doing it with. You're so convinced that this is what it is. You drive people crazy and you make people uncomfortable, because their goal is to distract you and fuck up your plan. So I'm going to wrap it up. And I'm going to encourage you to go to that basement. Those clubs and those parties and them girls and them mini skirts and them flat stomachs, and it all sounds great. It ain't going nowhere. Every multi-millionaire and every multi-billionaire in this world that are living on the top have all decided that I'm going to commit myself to this career, this vision, this goal, sports, training, education, no parties. They're going to call you names. They're going to say you're corny. They're going to call you a square. They're going to say that you're a weirdo because you don't fuck with nobody. Those are the characteristics of a champion. Those are the characteristics of someone that have said that I have decided that I'm going to create a shift in this universe. If you look at documentaries on Steve Jobs and Oprah and President Obama and all of the above, they are weird because they've seen things that no one else seen for their career path. They are living beyond what is expected because they were obedient to the vision. You're not supposed to be another person that lived and died and didn't do anything significant. If you were to die tomorrow, God forbid, the person that continues to call one person after the next, after the next, after the next, begging, manipulating them, playing on their emotions, trying to make them feel bad so that you can pay all their bills and get them out of the hole. As soon as you get them out of the hole, they will never learn a lesson from the reason that they're in the hole in the first place. They're going to go from one person, 1 month after the next, begging, pleading, because they're living beyond their means. I want you to write, I will be obedient to the vision. I will be obedient to the vision.
I consider self-awareness very important because I believe it is the foundation of personal growth and success. As such, we need to understand how to become self-aware. What is self-awareness? If I ask you, how many of us have asked ourselves the question, who am I? How many of us have asked ourselves, what do I want? These are ancient questions, but contemporary ones as well.
Take a brave look at your life. Look at your life right now where it is. As you begin to look out on the future, look out on this year, let's take personal inventory. What has brought you here? Did you get out of it what you wanted? Did you achieve the goals that you set out to achieve? Now you've got to make a decision. See, many of us won't be able to move forward because we're not taking true inventory of our lives. As you begin to look at your emotional, your spiritual, and intellectual development, how many books did you read? How many seminars did you attend? How many classes that you take to begin to develop yourself professionally, to improve your craft or your skill?
Becoming self-aware is about the process of understanding ourself. For me, knowing ourself means being able to assess realistically several dimensions of ourself. It is about knowing what are our strengths, the things that we can do well, knowing our weaknesses, our present limitations. It is about knowing what we want, and furthermore, it is about knowing what we don't want as well.
How many new things that you learn? Beginning to know yourself. What are the things about your past that has influenced you right now? What's your philosophy of life? What are your beliefs, things that you feel very strongly about? What are some of the things that you have picked up along the way that you've been doing them for so long you think that they're you, that you need to begin to re-examine them and perhaps get them out of your life? A lot of things we're doing, we do unconsciously because we picked it up somewhere in life.
It is about developing an authentic leadership. We are who we are. We are authentic. But one cannot be authentic if imitates someone else. As Hemingway said, you can't get away from yourself by moving from one place to another. Yes, we learn from others, we have to learn from others, but we can't be somebody else. By being authentic, only then we can be an inspiration to others. We then may become leaders that are able to motivate and guide other people towards achieving goals and visions. So how can we know ourselves? How do we understand ourselves? It is not easy to accomplish. This is the first thing. Faith in who we are, faith in who you are, faith in who we want to be. Say, yes, I can do that, and truly believe that this is our most important aim in life.
What are the events? What are the circumstances? What are the people that have shaped you? What is it that you've picked up somewhere in life that might be a liability to you? What fear, what beliefs that you're holding on to tenaciously that's no longer allowing your life to work?
Second, focus, prioritize. Some aspects have more priority over other aspects. Focus your energies, your attention, your workload. Time, manage time, lead with time. Time is becoming a scarce resource nowadays, everywhere. Follow up, dedicate efforts to work. Work with people, show patience and persistence. Nothing can be done alone. Ask questions, ask ourselves, ask yourself, ask others, ask for help. Then will come feedback and finally reflect. Listen with empathy, listen actively. Learn to improve, learn to transform, and finally serve. Use this knowledge that you have to serving to the people, serving to humanity, serving to your country. I believe that knowing ourselves makes us happy, makes us feeling free, empowered, self-confident, at peace. Even that inner peace inside of us that we do lack many times, it makes us feel fulfilled, self-actual, secure, self-confident, and motivated. The positive side is that self-awareness or knowing yourself can be developed. We are not born with that skill. Which in turn then leads to being able to create a context that is more favorable to you, the context which provides us with opportunities and with what we want. Furthermore, that enables us to be the person we want to be. Hopefully, all of us want to be a person, a leader in service to the good. I believe, for me, that is the meaning of life. After all, it all begins when we know ourselves. We are living in a new world which we don't know.
What are the things that you need to let go? Some things that have cost you pain, that's stifling your growth and development. What are those things? As you begin to look at your profession or your career, what is it that you need to do to begin to upgrade your skills or your knowledge, to continue for you to be competitive in the marketplace? As you begin to look at yourself and ask some of these questions, what is something that you're good at? Are you living your passion? Are you living your dream? What do you regard as your greatest personal achievement? What is the one thing that other people can do to make you most happy? What would you do if you had 1 year to live and guaranteed success in anything you decided to do? What would that be? As you look at your life, what would your life be like? What would your life look like if you decided not to care what people thought of you. What would your life be like if you decided to give up some of your fears? What would your life be like if you decided to become courageous? It takes courage to live. Since most people go through life not allowing themselves to step out because they don't want to let go. They don't want to be blown around. They don't want to be moved. The courage to face life's whirling wind of contradictions. The courage to love yourself. The courage to love. For years, I was afraid to love. The courage to take a chance. The courage to be who you are.
We make decisions that will profoundly influence the lives of the people we're going to become. And then when we become those people, we're not always thrilled with the decisions we made. So young people pay good money to get tattoos removed that teenagers paid good money to get. Middle-aged people rush to divorce people who young adults rushed to marry. Older adults work hard to lose what middle-aged adults worked hard to gain. On and on and on. The question is, as a psychologist, that fascinates me is, why do we make decisions that our future selves so often regret? I think one of the reasons I'll try to convince you today is that we have a fundamental misconception about the power of time. Every one of you knows that the rate of change slows over the human lifespan, that your children seem to change by the minute, but your parents seem to change by the year.
Have agonized over making a decision. Some decisions are major decisions. And also there are a lot of small decisions that we don't make, that they tax our minds, they drain our energy. They create a lot of anxiety and nervousness and mental torment because we don't take care of it. We decide not to decide, which is a decision. Deciding to decide, to act, is a major, major challenge for all of us at different points in different areas of our lives. And there are things that happen to us along the way, experiences that we have that prevent us from working through the mental block of acting.
People predict that the friend they have now is the friend they'll have in 10 years. The vacation they most enjoy now is the one they'll enjoy in 10 years. And yet, people who are 10 years older all say, you know, that's really changed. Does any of this matter? Is this just a form of misprediction that doesn't have consequences? No, it matters quite a bit, and I'll give you an example of why. It bedevils our decision-making in important ways. Bring to mind right now for yourself your favorite musician today and your favorite musician 10 years ago. I put mine up on the screen to help you along. Now, we asked people to predict for us, to tell us how much money they would pay right now to see their current favorite musician perform in concert 10 years from now. And on average, people said they would pay $129 for that ticket. And yet, when we asked them how much they would pay to see the person who was their favorite 10 years ago perform today, they say only $80. Now, in a perfectly rational world, these should be the same number, but we overpay for the opportunity to indulge our current preferences because we overestimate their stability. Why does this happen? We're not entirely sure, but it probably has to do with the ease of remembering versus the difficulty of imagining. Most of us can remember who we were 10 years ago, but we find it hard to imagine who we're going to be. And then we mistakenly think that because it's hard to imagine, it's not likely to happen. Sorry, when people say, I can't imagine that, they're usually talking about their own lack of imagination and not about the unlikelihood of the event that they're describing. The bottom line is, time is a powerful force. It transforms our preferences, it reshapes our values, it alters our personalities. We seem to appreciate this fact, but only in retrospect. Only when we look backwards do we realize how much change happens in a decade. It's as if For most of us, the present is a magic time. It's a watershed on the timeline. It's the moment at which we finally become ourselves. Human beings are works in progress that mistakenly think they're finished. The person you are right now is as transient, as fleeting, and as temporary as all the people you've ever been. The one constant in our life is change.
Of doing those things that we know we ought to do. And so what I want you to think about is, what is there that you know you need to do, that you want to do this, but for some reason or another, you've been holding back. For some reason or another, you just have not been able to gather your nerves or be able to work through the procrastinating or putting it off or justifying or blaming. Some reason or another, you just haven't done it. And you know you ought to do this. You really want to do this, but you don't know why you haven't done it. We know that this is not easy, because in order to begin to reinvent your life, you've got to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. That you really have got to put all of yourself into it. It's very challenging to act, to do those things. There are times when you're looking at it and you say, I know I need to do this, but I don't feel like it. See, life also are things that can inspire us to act. See, we don't have the courage, and that's what it takes, courage. It takes guts to do that which you know you need to do. If you don't have the courage to act, life many times will move on you and make you act. I don't want to do it. I know I need to do it, yet leave me alone. No, I don't want to do it. So what do we do? What are those things that cause us to do like that? I think that among the things that prevent us from acting is the fear of failure. And if you've already failed, you don't want to fail again. The pain of that, the disappointment, the fear of loss is another thing. Because many times when we do those things that we know we need to do, we feel that we might lose somebody that we love very much and care about. We don't want to hurt anybody. Many of us don't act because we want other people's approval. We want everybody to like us and to accept us. And that's not possible. Many of us don't do the things that we want to do and don't act because of lack of self-confidence. We don't believe enough in ourselves.
I don't want to be an icon. I want to be an idea. You know, I want to represent an idea. I want to represent possibilities. I want to represent magic, right? That you're in a universe and 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 only equals 4 if you accept that 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 is going to be what I want it to be. You know, and there's a redemptive power that making a choice has, you know, rather than feeling like you're at effect to all the things that are happening. Make a choice, right? You just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. And then from that point, the universe is going to get out your way.
There are many reasons why we don't act. There are other things, though, that affect us. It's that not wanting to take personal responsibility. We want somebody else to do it. And many times we pick up our inability to do certain things from people that we love, people that we admire. We identify with them, and we live in the context of their ideas, their opinions, and their life patterns. this is challenging. This is not easy, acting. So what are the things that we can begin to do to harness our will? Number one, you've got to bring it out and look at it. You've got to take the power out of it. You've got to expose it to the truth. And the truth is that it has no power over you. So write down something you want to act on, but for some reason that you've been holding back, and look at it. The next thing is, ask yourself the question, is it helping you to continue to put it off? If it's an asset for you to continue to procrastinate, then continue to do that. But if it's a liability for you, if it's causing you some mental and some emotional challenges, or perhaps a financial problem, look at that. Examine that for what it is. Next step, ask yourself, what's blocking you? What's preventing you from acting? Why don't you have the courage to handle that? Why won't you face that? What are you running away from? What kind of avoidance behavior are you engaged in? When we look out on our lives, you ask the question, what are you going to do? Look at, as you think about this that you know you need to handle, what are you going to do? And then write down 3 strong reasons on why you know you must take action. And be explicit and descriptive in your reasons, because your reasons have power. Your reasons will drive you. When you have doubt, when your faith becomes weak, your reasons will fortify your faith. When you have an inner conversation, say, no, don't do that. Your reasons will become your rod and your staff to comfort you, to take you through those challenging moments. So write down your reasons. And what you will find, that when you decide to act, when you decide to take life on, and let me warn you, it can be painful, it will be uncomfortable, and that's where the growth is. When you're uncomfortable, when you're stretching out, when you're taking life by the collar, you're going to get thrown to the ground again and again and again. But when you have determination, and you know that what you're doing is right, it gives you your life, it gives a special meaning and power to you, you will have some power from on high. You will discover some things about yourself that will begin to electrify your personality. You'll begin to discover some things about you that you don't know you've got.
For me, I believe that I can create whatever I want to create. If I can put my head on it right, study it, learn the patterns, and you know, it's hard to put into words, real metaphysical, esoteric nonsense, but I feel very strongly that we are who we choose to be.